Hi, this is Pavel, and this is part 7 of our Star Trek battle. And now we are going to continue with the game loop logic. And in the previous video, we selected what ship is firing and what ship it is firing at. So now we have to call the methods of the classes to decrease the shield of the ship that was hit and decrease the ammo of the ship that was shooting. Also find out if any of the ship was actually destroyed, and we also need to find out if the selected ship, because this is all random, was actually eligible to shoot, because if it already was destroyed, then it cannot shoot. So or if the ship that was hit was already destroyed, then it's not a valid turn. We have to simply kind of ignore that and generate the numbers again. So we are going to do an if statement. If the firing ship and remember there is a method, oh there you go, is destroyed. So if it's not destroyed and the hit ship, actually if not the hit ship is destroyed, if neither of the ship is already set as destroyed, then we have a valid turn, then we can continue. Otherwise we have to go back to our while loop, select randomly the whole turn, and that basically will continue until this statement will be true, and then we will proceed with the fight. So what's going to happen during the fight if the ship if this is a valid turn, then we are going to decrease the shield of the ship that was fired at, and we are going to decrease it by the value or the amount of the damage that the weapon that the shooting ship has used. For example, if Galaxy class shoots photon torpedo, the damage will be 2. So we have to capture that. So we are going to create an integer of fire, I'll just call it fire strength. And here comes to place the fire method. So a firing ship will invoke the fire. So and which fire is going to be? Now that's the polymorphism. It depends on what ship, what class of the ship it was. If it's a Galaxy class, then it will invoke its own fire method. If it's a battlecruiser, it will invoke its own fire method. That's the polymorphism. So we fired, let's say it's a Galaxy class, we fired, and it will return the torpedo strength or the phaser strength depending on whether the phaser was shot or torpedo was shot, or it will return 0 if we were reloading. So we now need to go to decrease the shield of the hit ship. So hit ship, and we will invoke the hit method, and we will pass the fire strength. So let's say we fired a torpedo, the fire strength was 2, so we are passing 2, the value of 2, to our hit method. And the hit method is the spaceship. If you can see, let's say we pass, here's the method, we are passing 2, so the shield strength is decreased by 2, and we also check if it is now at 0, and if it is, then the ship is destroyed, and is destroyed is set to true. So we fired, the ship was hit. Now let's display the result. Now in order to do that, I'm going to create a separate method. I'll just call it public. It's gonna be static, so, and it's gonna be a void. It's static because I'm using it within the program class. I don't wanna just, I could create another class and invoke that, but this is just easier, I guess. I'll call it display battle. And in order to display it, we need the name of the ship that's fired, the name of the ship that was hit, and we need the firing strength, because we need to kind of find out what was shot, so we can display the, display everything on the screen. Again, let me run the program, the original program that the teacher sent. Here's the one. It says USS Defiant fires photon torpedo. Now this one is now destroyed because the shield was obviously 0. Let me go up here. Another one. It fires torpedo. The Enterprise is hit, and now its shield is at 0. So this is what we are going to simulate. It fires disruptor. The shield is now 0. 10 of the ship that was hit, and so on. So again, so we need the spaceship that fires. So it's gonna be a object of spaceship, because we don't know if it's gonna be galaxy or battle cruiser. But again, since they all are derived from spaceship, then they all are spaceship. So firing ship, that's what we receive. We need another spaceship of the hit ship, and we need the integer of fire strength. That's what we are passing into this method. So now we can display, because if the fire strength was 0, then we know we were reloading, so the message will be different than when it was actually, when a weapon was actually fired. So let me just comment it. If fire strength equals 0, we are reloading. Because remember, in our fire method, we are returning the damage basically, and if we are reloading, the damage is 0. So we are capturing it here, so we can display proper message on the console. So if fire strength equals 0, then our console dot write line, and it will go something like I'll start on a new line, and it will say the name of the ship that was firing, so that's gonna be the first placeholder. Actually, that was reloading. We are reloading now, so it will say something like USS Enterprise over here, and now had to reload. And what we are reloading? We are reloading a weapon, so that's gonna be had to reload a torpedo or something. Remember, again in Galaxy, it will, if we are reloading, it will return. It will set the fired weapon to photon torpedoes, and that's what we are going to display here. This is the fired weapon. And on a new line again. So the first placeholder is the firing, firing ship, and the other is the fired weapon that is being reloaded. So that's gonna be the firing ship dot fired weapon property. So again, it will say USS Enterprise, this is that, had to reload photon torpedoes, for example. So that's if we are reloading. If we are not reloading, then we are fighting. So I will do console dot write line and display the ship that fired and the ship that was hit. So we will do again on a new line the ship name that fires. So it's Enterprise, USS Enterprise fires, and then over here torpedoes, right? So firing ship, and then firing ship dot fired weapon. And now the hit ship, so console dot write line, and it will say what ship was hit. So one of the Klingon ship's name I cannot pronounce will be here, and it says is hit. Shield is now, or shield strength is, and what it is we will place right here. So this is the hit ship, and it's gonna be the hit ship dot shield strength. Yeah, that's the property, and that's the message for the fight, for a battle. But if you remember, that's these two lines over here. USS Defiant fires photon torpedo, Torcod is hit, shield strength is 13, and at the end we display all the ships that are on the battlefield with their current shield strength. But the way it is displayed is that all the ones that are being destroyed are on the bottom. So if a ship gets destroyed, it is moved down. The first ships listed are the ones that are still fighting, and the one on the bottom are the ones that are destroyed. So we have to kind of figure out whether the ship is destroyed, so we know where to place it on the list, how to display it. So I'm going to create, for that I'm going to create another static method. It's gonna be void, and it's gonna be a display status. So it's gonna be status, and we are going to pass the whole array of our ships. So it's gonna be the spaceship object, or array of spaceship objects of ships. I'll just call it the same. And we will display the ships and the status, and again the destroyed ships will be at the end. So first loop will be through the whole array, of course, so 6 elements. Now we could use, instead of 6, we could probably define another constant that would say number of ships. In fact, yeah, let's do that. Constant integer number of ships, and that way if we change it, we'll change it, we'll set it to 6 for this example, but we could set it to anything. Now we have to, instead of passing 6 to when we create our array, I'll pass the variable or the constant, and over here instead of 6 we will loop through the number of ships, whatever is being set. And so I++, that's our first loop, and in it we'll check if the ship is destroyed. If not, we will display it. So if the ships of the index of I, the one that we are looping through right at the moment, is destroyed with the exclamation point. If it's not destroyed, then we will do console.writeLine, and we will simply output the name of the ship, and then the shield strength is whatever the shield strength is. So the name of the ship is our ships of I, and it's the shield. No, not just ship of I. Let's just do the name, just the name of the ship, and then the ship's I, and display the shield strength. So it's gonna be shield strength. So we will say like Enterprise shield strength is 1 or 2 or whatever it is at the moment. So that is if the ship is not destroyed. And if it was destroyed, we will basically display the ships destroyed using another loop just like this. I'll just copy paste it. So this will only so if it was destroyed, we will again loop through them. Remember, like I said before, it's this is going to check the status. If the status is not destroyed, if it doesn't say it's destroyed, then it will output it. So it will only output the ships that are not destroyed. And in this case, we will do the opposite. We will delete the exclamation, and now if the ship is destroyed, then we will output this. But we will output not the shield strength or anything. We will output the name of the ship and just the message that it has been destroyed. Has been destroyed. So we will only output the name of the ship now and delete the shield strength. Okay, so this is our display status. Now we have the display battle, we have the status after the battle, and so when we come back up here in our firings, remember if this is the valid turn, if the firing ship wasn't destroyed and if the hit ship wasn't destroyed, then this is a legal target and a legal firing ship, so it's a legal turn. We invoke the fire method that determines what weapon was fired and what damage is being inflicted. We pass it to our hit method on the other ship that was hit, and now we can simply call the methods we just created, display battle. This will display those two lines, ship that fires and ship that was hit. So we will pass the firing ship, the hit ship, and the fire strength. This because it expects those arguments, and at the end we will also display the status with all the shields for values for each of the ships. So we will pass the array of ships. Okay, now what? Let's test it. Let's see what we get. It's time to run it. Alright, so it's building. Come on, come on. Sometimes today, hopefully. Let me pause it, and when it builds, I'll unpause it. Okay, so it finally built and ran. So at the beginning it should say let the battle begin over here. We don't have that, meaning that we don't have enough lines. Like it took more turns than expected. But alright, and it doesn't display. You can see it fires. The ship that fires is being displayed, but the one that is hit is not. So there's some problems with the code. But before I do anything, I'll come to properties for this window, and I will increase. What is that? I think it's the layout. Yeah, I will increase the buffer size. Let's just 2000. So basically, it will display 1000 lines. So that. So if I run it again, yeah, you can see that now we have the whole battle. It says let the battle begin, and it fires. It displays all the shields and everything. It displays when the ships start getting destroyed. It displays them on the bottom. You can see that, and at the end, you got 3 destroyed ships from the. These are the Klingons, so it should actually say who won as well. It should say, alright, this, because the game is over, so someone should win. Okay, so we need to fix few things. Obviously, we have to display the ship that was hit, and we need to determine whether the game is over. The game is over if 3 ships are destroyed. So I'm going to create one more method over here. It will stay static. It will return a boolean is game over, and we will pass the spaceships, the array of our ships. So it will accept the ships, and within this method we will simply find out whether the ship with the index 0, 1 and 2 or 3, 4 and 5 are destroyed. That's why I have them in order. Again, remember, it's easier to check. I can simply check 3 indexes. If all 3 says destroyed, then one team lost and the other one. So if ships, and this one is 0, that is destroyed, remember that is the property of the over here in our spaceship class. It says is destroyed, and it is set to true if the shield strength is 0 or less. So if it's destroyed and ships and the 1, the index of 1 is destroyed, and ships, and this is gonna be the index of 2 that is destroyed, so this is the whole Klingon team, then we have we can display console dot right line the other team won, so that's gonna be the victory for USS or for the Federation or whatever, and we will return true because that means the game is over. Someone won and someone lost. And I'll copy paste it because it's gonna be the same for the other team, except this one will be index 3, index 4 and index 5. So this is the Federation. So if these are destroyed, then the Klingon won. So alright, so and well, it's asking me to return something. It will never come to this point because it will either be, oh actually no, it will, never mind, it will become true only if all 3 ships are destroyed here or ships are destroyed here. If it's not, if neither of these condition is true, then the battle continues because there's not all 3 ships of one team were destroyed, so we will return false. The game is not over yet. So we come up over here in a while loop. After this if statement, we can call this method the is game over method, and we will assign the return value, which is either true or false, to our game over variable. So our game over will now equal is game over, whatever is returned. Remember, it expects the ships, the whole array of ships. That's what we are checking. So if it returns true, then game is over and it exits the loop. If it returns false, game continues and we keep firing and hitting. So let me run that. So here is the result, and you can see all these were destroyed. So now we have victory for USS at the bottom. So now we have to fix the hit, and we have the firing ship, but we don't have the one that is being hit. Okay, so and just to format it a little better, I'll put this on new line, all these 2 messages. Okay, so let's take care of the hit ship and display that. So we are displaying the battle, we're displaying the ship. Oh, but you know what, we are displaying we should be displaying just the name. Hit ship is the object and we are calling the property name. In fact, no, the firing ship we don't, because we also need the prefix that what do they call that again? The registry. Because so we need to, in order to display that, we need to pass the whole toString method, because let's say the registry in our toString method if I can find that. I think it was Starship. It contains the registry and the name as well. For the Federation, the other Klingon, they don't have that. But over here, the ship that is hit, we don't pass the registry or anything, we just pass the name. Okay, so let's see if that's gonna work. So you know what, let me place not there. I'm gonna debug it quickly. Let's see, why doesn't it display? So if I run it, okay, so here is our console, and I'm going to do, okay, so it goes to the firing ship. It displays fires disruptor, and now it should display the ship that fired. Oh, and it did. The head shield is 14. Oh, you know what it does? It actually does display it. Oh, never mind. It's just that it misses a space. Let me run it. I'll show you. It says this one fires and this one is hit, but there's a space in between, so it looks like this belongs to this block of the information. Okay, so all I have to do over here, remove that and place a new line at the end of that. So now we will have two lines kind of combined together, and then the display of all the ships after that. Alright, so here it is. Let the battle begin. This one fires, this one is hit. It's fire disruptor, so it's the strength or the damage was 1. So, and you can see that when the USS fires, it says the NCC 17 whatever. That's the prefix. That's the registry that is there. Except again, I need some space in between the registry and the name. But that's just a minor thing. You can see that the battle continues. It's a fairly long one, and then over here we already have some ship destroyed, and then there's 3 ship destroyed, but this one is a USS and 2 of the other team, the Klingons. So the battle continues, and now we have 2 of the Klingons and 2 of the USS. So now the only ship that should fire or be hit is these K, Hecht and Enterprise. So let's see, because all the others were destroyed, so now we have actually good opportunity to check whether that's working or not. So Enterprise and Hecht, Enterprise and Hecht. So yeah, it's just these 2 ships firing at each other until one of them is destroyed. Enterprise fires and it hits. Now its strength is -1, means it's destroyed. So the only last man standing is Enterprise, and the victory for USS. Oof. Alright, so I guess this concludes the whole project. I will put the code for download on the website, so you can kind of go through it yourself, analyze it, change it any way you want, and I hope you learned something. I hope this was helpful. If you liked it, please like the videos. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not yet, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.